On behalf of Ondine, my daughter, and myself, we started Voiceless. We were the initial founders. On behalf of the volunteers, I'd like to welcome you all here to Sydney University Law School for the opening of this year's Animal Law Lecture Series. I'd specifically like to extend a special welcome to our panellists, some of whom have been acknowledged already. Lee Rhiannon, who is the Australian Greens Senator for New South Wales, Kate Furman, Greens member of the New South Wales Legislative Council, and Celeste Black, who is the Senior Lecturer and Convener of Animal Law at Sydney Law School. And our own CEO, Dana Campbell, who's been CEO for, how long, Dana? 6 months. 6 months. To my wife, Dr. Jean Sherman. She's got 2 PhDs from Sydney University, who is the chair of our newly created Voiceless Council, which consists of 38 members who have come together to assist Voiceless in a number of different areas. Some of the council members are here tonight: Frank Zipfinger, Deirdre Wicks, Anne and Julian Beaumont, Melinda and Cameron Klein, and Janet Lawrence, and a few others, but I can't see as far back as that. Of course, Peter Stevenson, Chief Policy Advisor of Compassion in World Farming and the star of our lecture series, is with us tonight. Peter has travelled from Scotland to be with us, and for 2 weeks hereafter he'll be on the road visiting some 12 venues with our team in Sydney, Canberra, Gold Coast, Brisbane, Adelaide, Perth and Melbourne. Tomorrow, Canberra. Apologies from our patron, J.M. Coetzee, who won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 2003, but he is unable to attend tonight, but he will be attending the South Australian conference. I have special thanks also to the staff at Sydney Law School and to the university for hosting this event, and especially to the gracious Dean of Law, Professor Gillian Triggs. Tonight we are here to talk about animal law, but before we begin, I wanted to take a few moments to update you about Voiceless. Firstly, I would like to announce the latest addition to the Voiceless team, our new patrons: former Justice of the High Court of Australia, the Honourable Michael Kirby, and esteemed primatologist, Dr. Jane Goodall. They also send their apologies for not being here with us this evening. Jane spends some 300 days a year on the road, visiting some 120 venues. Many of you know that Ondine and I started Voiceless in 2004, a few months after attending an animal rights conference in Los Angeles, where to our horror, we realized that animal cruelty was endemic across society. That factory farming, the mass production of animals for food, was responsible for the largest and most hidden animal abuses. Live export, as cruel as it is the tip of the iceberg. We started Voiceless with the intention of creating an organisation that would promote respect and compassion for animals, take action to alleviate their suffering, raise awareness of the conditions in which they live, or should I say exist. The word living has a positive connotation, and I can assure you that there's nothing positive in their short, brutal lives. Since 2004, Voiceless has evolved into a think tank and an organisation at the forefront of animal protection movement. We focus on 2 areas: factory farming and the kangaroo industry. Factory farming causes the most suffering to the largest number of animals in Australia. Some 480 million sentient beings are locked in giant sheds or cages, barely enough to fit their bodies. They are deprived of personal space. Hundreds of millions of emotionally complex, intelligent beings, like pigs and chickens, are effectively locked away. They never see the sun, feel the earth under their feet. They never nurture their young, build a nest, roost, forage for food, or socialise as nature intended. Wherever possible, we bear witness and have gained entry into these facilities and many others on a legal basis. Factory farmed animals are subjected to the mutilization of sensitive areas of their bodies without pain relief. They are treated like commodities or objects or widgets in a production line with grave disregard for their real welfare needs. And chickens, for example, meat chickens are alive for some 35 days instead of the normal span of some 6 to 7 years. They once even flapped their wings. Our other area of concern is kangaroos and their joeys. The Australian kangaroo industry is the largest land-based massacre, sees the largest land-based massacre of wildlife on the planet. Each year, some 3 million kangaroos are killed as part of the commercial industry, and approximately 1 million joeys are bashed to death under government law or die of hypothermia or starvation. The fate of these joeys is described by some as collateral damage or a byproduct of the industry. Kangaroos are shot under the cover of darkness in the bush, effectively in our back garden. To aid our objectives, late last year, together with the University of Technology, Sydney, we supported the establishment of Think, the think tank for kangaroos. Think's mission is to foster understanding among Australian people about kangaroos in a sustainable landscape. Think is headed by Dr. Draw Ben-Ami with a PhD in ecology, and Draw is sitting, was there he is, he's my son-in-law as well, it's family businesses. Draw has a PhD in ecology, and together with Professor Stuart White of the Institute for Sustainable Futures at UTS, run the think tank. At Voiceless, we strongly believe the law is a driving force for change, or it can at least be that. Voiceless is engaged in a range of initiatives designed to build the animal law movement in Australia, including our online think tank for animal law called Voiceless Law Talk. 8 years ago, when Ondine and I founded Voiceless, the field of animal law did not exist in Australia. We have been very busy, and there are now 9 law schools teaching animal law across the country. We're proud to mention that a 10th law school, University of Technology, Sydney, will be offering a course in animal law titled Animal Law and Policy in Australia, and that course is due to commence in autumn 2012. I'd like to acknowledge Professor Ross Milburn, who is the Vice Chancellor of UTS and helped facilitate Think. We also receive pro bono services or in-kind support from the majority of Australian leading law firms, including, but not limited to, Honor Block Liebler, Mallisons, Stephen Jacques, DLA Piper, and Alan Arthur Robinson. In fact, we have 3 of Australia's top firms hosting this year's lecture series: Cause, Chambers Westgarth, Minter Ellison, and for the first time this year, Clayton Utes, or Utes. Only Ruth knows because she worked there. I must give full due to Katrina Sharman, who joined Voiceless in 2004 as corporate counsel and who recently has moved on to Harvard. She was Australia's first full-time animal rights lawyer employed by Voiceless and has recently been appointed to the board of Voiceless. We took the opportunity late last year of employing 3 senior executives: Dana Campbell as CEO, Dr. Anne-Marie Johnson as Head of Corporate and Communications, and Ruth Hatton as Legal Counsel. And we're delighted they are on board, and our team has strengthened considerably with their input. As you are here tonight, the EU is leading the way when it comes to farm animal law and has made some progress in banning some of the cruelest practices inherent in factory farming. Hopefully, we can learn from the EU experience and improve the lives of animals, of farm animals in Australia. With the growth of the legal movement lies the growth of the social justice movement, that is animal protection. Your attendance here tonight means that you too are part of this movement. We trust the information you are presented with tonight will encourage you to participate and spread the word and help drive the change that is needed to protect farm animals. They are at our mercy. Any individual here tonight can make a significant difference, let alone the 292 attendees who are with us this evening. Again, welcome, thank you for coming. Hope you enjoy the evening, although it's not necessarily enjoyable. Thank you very much.